Hey folks, East Forest here. Thank you for hosting a listening gathering, or just thanks for listening to the new music. Chapter 2 of East Forest Ram Dass is out, and there's 4 new songs. I just wanted to give you some quick background on these songs because maybe it'll just give you a little more meaning for what they are. So the first one is We Are Truth. I have to remember the order they're in. We Are Truth. That one is it's fun because it has more of a beat, and it's got the big grand piano in there, and Ram Dass talking about the nature of soul and what it means to be a soul. This is something he kept coming back to again and again, because I think he equates the soul with witness consciousness, or being in that seat of the soul and looking at your life and looking at things from that place, and that being a place where you can love everyone. So I don't have a lot to say about the actual content of that because I don't want to steer your feelings on that one too much, because it's almost more like broad and poetic and beautiful. But I love the energy of that. It's the first one so far on the record that I sing on. So if you're wondering who that lady is, that's me singing the hook. Yeah, there's no other featured guests. There's some bass guitar by Jonathan P. Downer. And anyway, that's We Are Truth. The next one after that is Home, which is one of my favorites because I love it musically. I love the playful bounciness of it. It's all real instruments, upright bass, me playing the piano on that too, and live percussion. But I asked Ram Dass a super long-winded question about psilocybin, magic mushrooms, and how they have all this promise, and there's a new cultural wave. I saw Michael Pollan's book, Changing Our Minds, on his books of he was reading. So I was like, okay, here's the big question. And he just paused, got his thoughts together, and then it just said, which is the first line in the song, "Psilocybin is my friend," which is classic Ram Dass. It's hilarious, the perfect opener, and it goes just into the story of the first time he did psilocybin with famous people, Allen Ginsberg, Timothy Leary, and how it took him into his spiritual place for the first time. It opened that up to him and propelled him on the journey. So being that he's the psychedelic grandfather of our country, along with perhaps Timothy Leary, who's deceased, it's amazing. It's just beautiful to hear him talk about that and hear it set to music. And the music is sort of this carnival-esque a little bit, like it has the energy of psilocybin to it, that playfulness, but also there's a groundedness and earthiness to it that I love. After that, there's a longer track, A Miracle, which Ram Dass, he tells 1 or 2 stories on the record, and this is one of them. It took him an hour and a half to tell this story, and it condensed down to about 6-7 minutes because the pauses in his speaking. And I knew the story, so when he started it, Radha and I were there, and we were like, oh my God, this is a long story, and we're running over time. And if he doesn't get to the punchline, the story won't really matter in a way. It won't have the impact. Like, it's a long setup. And so we were kind of like waiting and waiting, but you couldn't push it. And finally he got there, and we're like, yes, we got it. But what I love about the story, it's not just a miracle that his mind was read by Maharaji. It was that by doing that, he realized that he was being loved unconditionally, even though this other person knew all the crap inside him too, knew everything. And because he was loved unconditionally, then Ram Dass suddenly is like, I can love unconditionally. This is like a reflection, a mirror of what I am, what I can be. And that blew him open to his life being love, 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 love. So that kind of moves actually right into Your Guru. And I want to overlap those songs on the record because they're in the same key intentionally. They're meant to go like this. Because then he starts talking about what a guru is. And you hear in the background this phrase, your guru. And at the end he says that. But it's going like a mantra the whole time in the song because he's talking about his guru, but then says, you're a guru. And that's a very interesting idea, right? I like that juxtaposition, that sort of Buddhist koan type thing, that it stops the gears in your mind because the idea is more of a feeling. So I really like that song. And someone I met, I haven't said his name in months, so it's like Lucas. It's on the credits. Lucas, the guy who played the chord, he made the instrument. It's a gourd that he made into a cello. He makes instruments. He makes choras. He plays cello, flutes. And I met him at a gig in Montreal, and I said we should explore some of these instruments, and we just worked remotely, and he did that stunning. I'm gonna put his name in the show notes because I link to his site or something. But anyway, Lucas did that beautiful work on the Gordello. So those are the 4 tracks. Chapter 3, Chapter 4 are still forthcoming, but we want to let these sink in, let these add to Chapter 1, add to the bigger story. See what you think. Share your stories. Send us pictures. info@eastforest.org, or tag it on social media. And happy spring equinox. Enjoy.